So this was a damn good day for Demon Slayer, I have to say. Now on one hand, Demon Slayer, its first season did conclude, but then on the other hand, they immediately confirm a sequel movie which will be adapting this train arc, which has been hyped up for as long as I can remember as I started watching Demon Slayer, and apparently it fits so perfectly in movie format, so it's kind of like a match made in heaven that they're going to have a film production for a very highly anticipated arc. It's a sequel, a direct sequel, and then most likely once that film's done, they'll confirm the second season, which they're probably going to be working on alongside the movie, so they can keep pumping out Demon Slayer content without having a 2-year break. It just is like, okay, on one hand it ended, but then on the other hand, not only did they confirm more, they also wrapped up the first season with such a nice bow that it didn't feel like a cliffhanger. Like, it honestly felt like one journey concluded, they made preparations, they've trained, they've evolved, and now we're going on to the next journey. It almost feels like you read a book and then like you knew there was more books in the series, but you weren't like dying because you had to wait 3 years for the next book. It just feels like a very satisfying episode, and honestly, I'd go as far to say it's either my favorite or probably tied with my favorite episode of Demon Slayer to date. Because the first half of this episode had my jaw on the floor with the whole demonage just wiping out the lower demons, and then with the second half, the emotional pull and just kind of resolution with characters like Tanjiro and Kanao, like, it's just like, this is what we're talking about here. Get the adrenaline pumping, but also slow it down and have those emotional swings. The first half of this episode, like I mentioned, I was not expecting it. It kind of gave me the same feeling as when Tanjiro and Nezuko were fighting in the forest, and you got that crazy animation, you got these techniques, you're like, oh my god, this is insane. I kind of had the same feeling, but this time I was more scared than hyped up. Muzan is a character who, it's kind of clear why he's been able to keep his identity a secret for so long. He can literally shape not only his aura, but also his physical appearance, and I love that situation because I had no idea what the demons were doing here, why everything was being warped and distorted, and like the demons, they were kind of like, oh shit. And I was like that too. I didn't like these demons, but at the same time, I was like, man, we know how crazy this guy is. Even if I don't like these demons, I don't know I want them to go up against the big man in charge. And that scene was probably one of the most memorable things from this past anime season. Hell, we're on the verge of finishing up this anime season. Only maybe a couple of anime have a few episodes left to go, or they're wrapping up. Like, this is pretty much the final day for a lot of anime, and they deliver one of the most memorable sequences across the past 3 months. It kind of says a lot with the quality of Demon Slayer. I love how it looked. Like, this really kind of flexes why Ufotable is like the perfect studio to adapt Demon Slayer, because if we didn't have these 3D perspectives and camera angles, this scene wouldn't have been nearly as creepy as it was, because you have characters up on the ceiling, you know, standing on the walls, and then you just see the camera rotate and shift, you're flying through. It feels nauseating. Honestly, I had a headache before I started watching this episode. Nothing to do with the anime, but my headache got worse because of how the camera was spinning, and that's actually a compliment for me because it felt so nauseating. It felt like, holy shit, it was almost as if we were a part of this scene and we were being twisted and turned worse than anything we've seen. We fought demons who could do similar things, and it kind of made it look like child's play into comparison to what the big man in charge can do. And I just having the Heart Lady just pulling some strings, and then you got every single demon one by one getting slaughtered. It was both badass and frightening all at the same time. I love how this is a man who, in the realm of demons, it almost feels like he's untouchable. They start thinking, God, why are we here? Okay, why don't you just finish your thoughts here? Oh shit, he can read my mind. They keep getting killed one by one to the point where you kind of agree with the one demon. Bitch, we just gotta run. We got no chance here. He's reading our minds. We can't fight him. We have to run. Obviously, it wasn't gonna work out, but I think if you put most people in that demon situations, running is probably the best option. But then again, we see what the correct option was. You have to be a complete and utter lunatic and embrace death, and that's how you get your demon upgrade. Like, that situation, I don't think, unless you read the source material, you were expecting. Like, he's always kind of pissed off at his demons, but I didn't expect him to completely wipe out the lower branch, except one, and then upgrade him into a higher tier. Like, it's something that makes sense for this lunatic of a demon, but I wasn't expecting it. And the fact that during its final episode, it could still pull a fast one, something I was not expecting. Not only did the visuals just go completely overboard and not what I was expecting, just the quality of it was fantastic. The mixture of 3D camera angles, 3D objects and perspectives and warping it. It was just crazy, distorting, and just horrifying. But then when you see what his purpose was and how just twisted this branch is, it kind of makes the future of Demon Slayer insane. Not only is he only keeping demons who are basically, not failing him alive, he's like, screw this baby shit. We're only going to keep the top levels around. And if Tanjiro was struggling with the lower class demons, like this train, the future, it's going to be mind-blowing. I am so happy that this is a series that's not waiting, because a lot of series, when they get massively popular, they get the big first season, and most anime take 2 to 3 years to get a new season. For the quality and time that Ufotable put into this, even though they don't have too many projects planned past Demon Slayer and the Heavensfield movie, it still is something that would realistically need a year and a half more than likely to pump out a quality season 2. So to deliver a 1.5, 2 hour length movie for Demon Slayer, a direct continuation, deliver high quality and deliver if you've never seen a movie from Ufotable, you're in for a treat. If you thought the TV version of Demon Slayer looked good, and hearing what I've heard about the next arc, I think this is gonna be goddamn jaws on the floor. You might not even be able to pick your jaw up. So it just feels perfect, because they're obviously going to work on the second season as they work on the movie. Because now there hasn't been confirmation as of yet on when it's coming out. There are some dates that have been kind of floating around. Don't trust them, it's people making them up. As of right now, as of me recording this and releasing this, it hasn't been confirmed. Most likely it will come out next year, and more than likely a season 2 will come out in 2021. This way, you don't have a year break of no Demon Slayer. You can keep year after year doing things like this. Maybe they wouldn't do that for, after season 2, do another movie. Maybe they will, but it's smart. Keep the hype up in the world of anime for Demon Slayer, as they can bring out the quality that this source material desperately deserves, because you don't want lackluster production after delivering this. It's kind of like, this is the bar now, you don't want it to see it drop, and the fact that they're going to even raise the bar with the movie is going to be mind-blowing. But with all that said, even though it was horrifying, even though it was badass and disorienting, the slower stuff was just as memorable, in my honest opinion. I love that situation with the whole coin toss, because I actually forgot that she talked to Nezuko in the forest. Some people pointed that out last week, but the idea that she can't talk unless she flips the coin and gets the proper landing, she won't say what's on her mind. And Tanjiro is this character who just immediately breaks that. He's like, hey, if it goes to this, you're gonna follow your heart. The voice in your heart's too weak. And I love that situation, because this is a girl who clearly likes Tanjiro. Maybe not romantically as of yet, but she does appreciate him. And I love how it's something that's so shocking. You're kind of like, the viewer's almost like in her shoes being like, I guess we just gotta go with this. Even though it's gonna be hard for her, this is someone she clearly admires in some way, and to just be like, what happens if it would have landed the other way? I would have just kept tossing it. It's something that just feels so Tanjiro, and it's so shonen, but it naturally feels like a very human and memorable moment, not something that comes across as cliche, bullshit, and boring. No, it's something like, you can't wait to see the future of those two's relationship, and more specifically her, and where she could go. I don't know if she'll immediately just toss away the coin and just follow her heart, but it is something that's going to help push her in a direction to not feel like her opinion's worthless and she has to flip a coin in order to do things. It's something that is incredibly memorable. It's something that, even though we got all this crazy disorienting camera angles and horrifying demons, this simple moment between two characters, both of which who have lost a lot in their life, obviously one is more abused than the other, it's still that scene is just as interesting as the horrifying sequence that kicked off the first half of this episode. That's why I love Demon Slayer. It's not just that it's a pretty looking anime, it has badass action and, just kind of cool powers. It has that, but the characters drive this forward. The only reason that this show is staying as popular as it is among so many different demographics and age ranges and, fans of different types of anime is because it hits all of the boxes, whether you're in it for the badass visuals, godly soundtrack, interesting characters, it has a mixture of everything. And the reason that this show is excelling, that it can trend globally, that it is so talked about from people who normally wouldn't talk about anime, even those who have seen hundreds, if not thousands. The reason that this show is a hit isn't because it's a flavor of the season, it's because it's goddamn spectacular. And I think, not everyone's gonna like it for sure. You can't have a majority opinion and say, okay, everyone has to say this. Even if a majority of people like it, not everyone will. But the reason this show is excelling is because it deserves to excel. And that's why I'm so happy to walk out of 26 episodes. It even extended what you're typically used to for a 2-course series, immediately confirm that movie, and just be like, we know it's going to just keep on coming, because it's a moneymaker. The studio clearly wants to do it, the production committee clearly wants to make money. It's like, goddamn, I'm just glad this is getting more. Definitely when the movie comes out, I'll be making a video of some form, review, analysis, something. I'm going to talk about Demon Slayer every time they make something of Demon Slayer, because the show is extraordinary, and I just can't wait to see where this series is going to go. But for everyone, this episode, the season overall, Manga Readers Anime Original, what did you feel about Demon Slayer? And how excited are you for that movie? Even though it's going to be a bit of a wait, it's better than, the wait we would have for just a second season and having no Demon Slayer content. So let me know down in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like and also hit that subscribe button if you have any news. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.